Hello grade 9 learners! Have a nice day! Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'll be discussing to you about the part 2 of solving equations transformable to quadratic equations involving rational equations. Hopefully, you have watched the part 1 of this lesson, so you have enough knowledge on how to solve equations that are transformable to quadratic equations. For this video, we will focus on rational equations. Now we will consider the first example. Find the roots of x over x plus 3 equals 8 over x plus 6. Before we go on with finding the least common denominator, let us be aware first of the restricted value. When we're talking about restricted value, it refers to the value of the variable that will make the denominator equal to 0. And for this equation, the restricted values are negative 3 and negative 6. Where did I get these values? Okay, the denominator part, x plus 3, equate that one with 0 and solve for x. So once we solve for x, transpose to the right side, so we have x is equal to negative 3. And the other one, x plus 6, equate that one with 0 and solve for x. So x is equal to negative 6. So meaning to say, we cannot have a value of negative 3 and negative 6. Once we substitute negative 3 to the denominator of this, the denominator will become 0. And also negative 6 plus 6, that is also equal to 0. Once the denominator will become 0, it is already undefined. Okay, now let's start with the step 2, that is finding the least common denominator. So if you have observed, our denominators are x plus 3 and x plus 6. Okay, so the least common denominator for this is just equal to the product of quantity of x plus 3 and quantity of x plus 6. Now, what shall we do with the least common denominator? We are going to multiply both sides of the equation by this, and the resulting equation will become quantity of x plus 3 times quantity of x plus 6 times x over x plus 3 equals 8 over x plus 6 times quantity of x plus 3 times quantity of x plus 6. We can divide the common factors. We have quantity of x plus 3 and quantity of x plus 3. On the right side, we also have quantity of x plus 6 and quantity of x plus 6. The terms that are left on both sides of the equation are, we have quantity of x plus 6 and x, as well as on the right side we have 8 multiplied by the quantity of x plus 3. Now let's simplify further. So x times x, the answer is x squared, and 6 times x, the answer is 6x. 8 times x, the answer is 8x, and 8 times 3, the answer is 24. Now we have to transform the equation to standard form. And 8x and 24 will be transposed to the left side, and this will become negative 8x minus 24. Now we have to combine similar terms. We can combine 6x as well as negative 8x. So 6x minus 8x, the answer is negative 2x. And the resulting equation will become x squared minus 2x minus 24 equals 0. And this is now the quadratic equation in standard form. Since equation is already in standard form, we can now solve for the value of x. So this time, we can solve this by factoring. So we have to factor out x squared. We have x and x. Factors of negative 24 are negative 6 and 4, that will give a sum of negative 2. Equate its factor with 0 and solve for x. So therefore, we have the first value of x. X is equal to 6. And the other one, 4, transpose to the right side, so it became negative 4. Now we are going to check to verify if these values are really the solution. So when x is equal to 6, we have to copy the original equation, substitute. So we have x over x plus 3 equals 8 over x plus, 6 plus 6. Simplify further, so we have 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 8, bring down, and 6 plus 6 is 12. Now we have to reduce the fractions, the lowest term. 6 over 9, divisible. The GCF between 6 and 9 is 3. So we have to divide 6 by 3, and also 9 will be divided by 3. And the answer is 2/3. Next, 8 will be divided by 4. And also 12 will be divided by 4 because 4 is the greatest common factor between 8 and 12. And this will also give an answer of 8 over 12. So if you have observed, we have a balanced equation or a true equation when x is equal to 6. Now, we're going to check when x is equal to negative 4. So I substituted right away. So we have x is negative 4. Negative 4 over negative 4 plus 3 equals 8 over negative 4 plus 6. Simplify further, so this will become, bring down negative 4, and negative 4 plus 3 is equal to negative 1. Bring down 8, and negative 4 plus 6 is 2. Negative 4 divided by negative 1, the answer is 4. And of course, 8 divided by 2, the answer is 4. If you have observed, we have also a true equation when x is equal to negative 4. Therefore, we can conclude that the roots of x over x plus 3 equals 8 over x plus 6 are 6 and negative 4. Okay, now let's have the second example. Find the roots of y plus 8 over y minus 2 equals 1 plus 4y over y minus 2. So the restricted value for this is 2. Because in our denominator, we have y minus 2. And once we equate y minus 2 by 0, and we are going to solve for the value of the variable, so we have y is equal to 2. So meaning to say, the variable y cannot have a value of 2 because if the value of y is equal to 2, our equation will become undefined. Okay, so we have to look first for the least common denominator. And our least common denominator is, of course, y minus 2. Why y minus 2? Because here our denominator is 1 for y, 1 for 1 also, and we have y minus 1 here, y minus 2. So 1 times quantity of y minus 2, that's already quantity of y minus 2. Next, we have to multiply both sides of the equation by the least common denominator, quantity of y minus 2. Okay, so quantity of y minus 2 times y plus 8 over y minus 2 is equal to 1 plus 4y over y minus 2 times y minus 2. And our answer is, we have this. So once we multiply quantity of y minus 2 times y, okay, of course, the answer is quantity of y minus 2 times y. Next, we have to multiply quantity of y minus 2 by 8 over y minus 2. We can divide common factors. Quantity of y minus 2 and quantity of y minus 2. So what is left is only 8. And here on the right side, first you have to multiply 1 by quantity of y minus 2. And of course, we have here 1 times quantity of y minus 2. And again, for y over y minus 2 will be multiplied by y, quantity of y minus 2. We can divide the common factors. So what is left here is we have 4y. Now let's simplify further. So y times y, we have y squared. Negative 2 times y, the answer is negative 2y. And then bring down 8. And on the right side of the equation, 1 times y, we have y. 1 times negative 2, negative 2. And bring down positive 4y. Now we are going to combine similar terms. Okay? On the left side of the equation, there are no more terms that can be combined, but on the right side, we can combine y and 4y. So y plus 4y is 5y, and bring down negative 2. Next, we have to transpose all the terms the right side of the equation to the left side of the equation, so we can have the standard form of quadratic equation. And the resulting equation will become y squared minus 2y plus 8. 5y became negative 5y, and negative 2 became positive 2, and equate it with 0. Now we have to combine similar terms. So y squared, just copy. Negative 2y and negative 5y, the answer is negative 7y. And 8 plus 2, the sum is 10. Bring down 0. So we have now an equation that is in standard form. Y squared minus 7y plus 10 equals 0. Now we are going to solve for the value of y. We can solve this by factoring. So factors of y squared are y, and then we have to factor out 10, where the sum of the two factors is negative 7. So we only have negative 5 and negative 2. Negative 5 multiplied by negative 2, the product is 10, but once we add negative 5 plus negative 2, the sum is negative 7. So the pair of our factors is correct. Equate its factor with 0, and then solve for x. So transpose negative 5 to the right side. So we have now first value of y is equal to 5, and the second value of y is equal to 2. Now let's try to check to the restricted value. Okay, our restricted value is 2. So meaning to say, this 2 is not a solution, but that is what we call extraneous root. But let us try to see what will happen if we are going to check this. Now let's check. First, when y is equal to 5, so copy the original equation, then substitute y by 5. So we have 5 plus 8 over 5 minus 2 is equal to 1 plus 4 times 5 over 5 minus 2. 5, bring down, then 8, bring down. 5 minus 2 is 3, bring down 1. 4 times 5 is 20, and 5 minus 2 is 3. Simplify further. We have to add an integer and a fraction. So automatically copy the denominator part of a fraction, and then 5 times 3 is 15. Just copy the numerator part, 8, because 5 has a denominator of 1. So 1 times 8 is 8. Also here we have to copy the denominator part, which is 3. 1 times 3, that is 3. And of course, copy the numerator part, 20. Because 1 times 20 is 20. And then you have to add further. 15 plus 8 is 23. Copy the denominator 3, and also on the right side we have 3 plus 20. The answer is 23 over 3. So if you have observed, we have a true equation when y is equal to 5. Okay. Supposedly, we're not going to check when y is equal to 2 because it is a restricted value. But for this time, I'll be showing to you what will happen if we're going to check when y is equal to 2. Okay, so when y is equal to 2, copy the original equation and then substitute y by 2. So in here, if you have observed, once we substitute the denominator part, this will become 0. Okay, remember that any number divided by 0 that is undefined. Okay, so undefined equation. That is why we cannot include the value 2 as a root or a solution. This is what we call extraneous root. Though we were able to obtain it as a solution, but this is not the solution to the equation. So for our conclusion, the only root that we can consider is only 5. Okay, we have only one root, which is 5. Next, we have, now let's have the third example. Find the roots of 1 over x minus 4 plus x over x minus 2 is equal to 2 over x squared minus 6x plus 8. Okay, first we have to look for the least common denominator, but before that, let us try to check what are the restricted values. Okay, if you have observed, the expression on the right side of the equation is not yet in factored form, so I suggest that all the denominator must be in factored form. So we can factor out x squared minus 6x plus 8. So the resulting equation will become 1 over x minus 4 plus x over x minus 2 equals 2 over quantity of x minus 4 times quantity of x minus 2. This is actually the factored form of x squared minus 6x plus 8. So factors of x squared are x, and factors of positive 8, negative 4, and negative 2, but the sum is negative 6. So with this, we can easily determine the restricted values. So the restricted values, or the values that will make the denominator equal to 0, are, here we have, of course, 4, and here we have 2. So same here. So the restricted values are 4 and 2. Okay, this is the solution. So since we're aware of the restricted value, now we can proceed with finding the least common denominator. And our least common denominator is just equal to quantity of x minus 4 times quantity of x minus 2. Now let's multiply both sides of the equation by the least common denominator. So we have here. Okay, now we have to multiply quantity of x minus 4 times quantity of x minus 2 multiplied by 1 over x minus 4. Once we multiply that, we can divide common factors. Okay, this one. So we have quantity of x minus 2 times 1. And once we multiply this whole expression by quantity of, x over x minus 2, we can now also divide the common factors, which is quantity of x minus 2 times quantity of x minus 2. So what are left are quantity of x minus 4 times x. Okay. And in here, on the right side of the equation, we can divide common factors, quantity of x minus 4, quantity of x minus 4, as well as quantity of x minus 2 and quantity of x minus 2 is already 1. So 2 times 1, we have 2. Simplify further. X times 1 is x. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Then x times x is x squared. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. And bring down 2. Now we have to combine similar terms and transform the equation to the standard form of quadratic equation. So we can combine x and negative 4x. So just bring down x squared and x and negative 4x, negative 3x. Bring down negative 2. And this 2 will be transposed to the left side of the equation and it became negative 2. Next, we have to combine further the constant term. So we have x squared minus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. Where did we get this negative 4? We combine negative 2 and negative 2. This is now the standard form of a quadratic equation. So we can now solve for the value of x. We can solve this by factoring. Factors of x squared are x and x. Factors of negative 4 are negative 4 and 1, but the sum is negative 3. Next, equate its factor with 0 and solve for x. So transpose negative 4 to the right side, so it became positive 4. And the other one, positive 1, transpose, it became negative 1. So we have now the two roots, but remember 4 is a restricted value. So we have only one solution or one root which is equal to negative 1. Now let's check. So when x is equal to negative 1, we have to substitute the variable x by negative 1. So we have copy the equation. Next, substitute x by negative 1. So 1 over 1, negative 1 minus 4 plus negative 1 over negative 1 minus 2 is equal to 2 over quantity of negative 1 squared minus 6 times negative 1 plus 8. Now simplify further. So 1 over negative 1 and negative 4, that is negative 5, plus negative 1 over negative 1 and negative 2 is negative 3, equals to copy quantity of negative 1 squared, negative 1 times negative 1, that is 1, negative 6 times negative 1, positive 6, bring down 8. Simplify further. 1 divided by negative 5 is negative 1/5. Plus negative 1 divided by negative 3, the answer is positive 1/3. 2, bring down, then add the denominator. 1 plus 6 is 7 plus 8 is 15. Now we have to add negative 1/5 and 1/3. So we have to find the least common denominator between 5 and 3. And the least common denominator is 15. Next, we have to divide. 15 divided by 5, the answer is 3. Times negative 1, the answer is negative 3. Next, 15 divided by 3, the answer is 5. Times 1, that is 5. Just copy the operation plus and bring down 2 over 15. Simplify further. We will combine negative 3 and 5. And of course, negative 3 plus 5 is 2 over 15. And bring down 2 over 15. So if you have observed, we have also a true equation when x is equal to negative 1. So this time, the value of x is only negative 1. Okay? So, in our conclusion, our root is only negative 1. Because the other root is what we call an extraneous root. And it is a restricted value. Okay. So, hopefully, you learned something for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Again, if you have questions or comment regarding the video, just comment in the comment box and kindly share to other students for them to learn or master the lesson. And don't forget to subscribe to be updated for more math lesson videos and turn on the bell for notifications. Before I end, let me share one of the verses from the Bible. Be strong and courageous, do not be terrified, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1 verse 9. That's all for today, and God bless you all.